Okay, if you have ever written an automation script, you know this feeling. It works perfectly one day, and the next, poof, it's broken. Today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest reasons why that happens and show you a super powerful technique to make your scripts practically unbreakable.
Right, this is the classic problem. You need your script to click a button or pick from a dropdown, but the element itself is completely anonymous. It's got no unique ID, no name, no class, nothing for you to easily grab onto. So, what do you do? What happens when all the easy locators just aren't there? So, here's the thing. The heart of the problem is that most web elements just aren't built with automation in mind. They're designed for people to look at and click on, not for script to find easily. And this, well, it creates a massive headache for anyone trying to automate testing. When you can't find a unique attribute, you're forced to rely on something really fragile, like a super long absolute XPath from the top of the page. And that means even the tiniest change a developer makes, like adding one single div, can completely shatter your locator, bringing your entire test run to a grinding halt. We need a better way, a much more resilient way. And that better way is something called XPath axes. Now, instead of just hunting for a single unique ID on one element, axes let us find elements based on their relationship to other elements on the page, their family. This is a total shift in how we think about finding things on a web page. So, an XPath axis basically defines a path using family ties instead of like GPS coordinates. You start at one specific element, we'll call that our context node, and from there you can just ask it to find its parent or maybe find all of its children. Honestly, the best way to get this is to just picture a web page's code like a family tree. It makes so much sense. Every element has a parent, it might have some children, and of course, there's the element itself. Once you start seeing the page structure like that, using XPath axes becomes, well, almost second nature. So for today, we're going to focus on these three core axes. The syntax is really simple. It's just the axis name, 2 colons, and then the tag name you're looking for. So parent colon goes up one level, child colon goes down one level to find all the kids, and self colon, well, that's a handy way to just confirm you're on the element you think you're on. All right, enough theory, right? Let's actually see this thing in action. We're going to use a country drop-down menu from a Salesforce developer page. It's a perfect real-world example to play with. Okay, first things first, we need an anchor. We need a stable starting point. So we'll begin by locating the main drop-down element, which thankfully has a unique name attribute, user country. This expression right here finds that select tag perfectly, giving us a solid base to work from. First up, let's just test out that self axis. We take our original XPath and we add /self:/select. And as you'd expect, it selects the exact same element. It's basically like pointing to the element and asking, are you you? It's a perfect little sanity check. Awesome. Next, let's climb up the family tree. From our select tag, we'll add /parent:/form. This tells XPath to navigate directly upwards and find the parent's element that is a form tag. And boom, it works, selecting the form that holds our dropdown. That is incredibly useful. Okay, so we've gone up. You know what's next. Let's go down. Now we want to find all those individual country options that are nested inside our dropdown menu. These are the direct children of our select tag. So to do this, we start with our same reliable selector for the dropdown, and we just tack on /child:/option. This is literally telling XPath, hey, from that select element, give me every single child element that has the tag option. And the result? Whoa, 247 elements found. Now, this is really important. The child axis doesn't just find one thing. It returns a whole collection, a list of every single node that matches. And in this case, yeah, it found every single country in that dropdown. But what if you don't want all 247 countries? What if you just want the second one in the list, Albania? Well, that's simple. You just add the index number in square brackets right at the end. So square brackets 2 gets you the second child, square brackets 3 gets you the third, and so on. Easy. Okay, so navigating up and down the tree is cool. But now we get to the real magic. This is the game-changing technique that is going to save your scripts. What happens when the element you want to find is the one with no unique attributes, but one of its children does? I mean, this scenario happens all the time in the real world. You can't find anything unique on the node you want, but you look inside it and you find a child element that is unique. This is where XPath axes really shine. So let's just imagine for a second that our main select tag, the country dropdown itself, has no name, no ID, no class. It's a ghost. It's completely anonymous. How on earth could we possibly find it reliably? We flip the logic completely. We start with something we can find. We know that one of the child options, the one for Afghanistan, has a unique value attribute AF. So we find that first. Then from that unique child, we just use the parent access to travel up one level to its direct parent, which is our selects tag. And just like that, we have a 100% reliable way to find our unfindable element. How cool is that?
So let's bring it all home. Why does this matter so much? Honestly, it's the difference between being an amateur and a professional in automation. It's about writing code that doesn't just work right now, but keeps working day after day.
Look, this technique is the difference between a brittle script and a robust one. A brittle script uses those fragile absolute paths that break if a developer even looks at the code funny. A robust script, one that uses axes, relies on the logical structure of the page, so as long as the country dropdown still contains the country options, our selector is going to work, even if they wrap it in 10 new divs. It's readable, it's maintainable, and it is so much more resilient. So when it all comes down to it, XPath axes let you navigate the web page like it's a map, right? You can go up to parents and down to children, and this lets you reliably find those tricky anonymous elements by starting from a nearby unique landmark. The result is just automation that is so much more stable and way easier to maintain. By thinking in terms of relationships instead of just attributes, you really unlocked a new level of power and precision in your automation. So go on, take another look at that application that's always given you trouble, because now with XPath axes in your toolkit, you have what it takes to master it.